This lesson is entitled, Present Your Body to God. 1 Corinthians 6:19 says, What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? The aim of this lesson is to encourage believers to present their bodies to God as living sacrifices, as a living sacrifice. Key terms that you want to consider. The first key term is body. Body is the frame of an animal, the material substance of an animal, in distinction from the living principle of beasts and the soul of man. Second term is temple, a place in which the divine presence specifically resides, the church as the collective body. And the last one term is fasting, a voluntary abstinence from food as a religious mortification or humiliation, either total or partial abstinence from customary food with a view to mortify the appetites or to express grief and affliction, account of some calamity, or to depreciate an expected evil. So have you ever been in a situation where you were thrown for a loop and didn't know what to do? We all have been in situations like that. What did you do? Hopefully you prayed. Prayer opens the door to divine revelation. Prayer ushers you into the presence of God, where you can discern the will of God. In Colossians 1:9, Apostle Paul prayed for the church at Colossae. He prayed that the members of the church would be filled with the knowledge of God's will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding. You need to pray the same prayer for yourself and others. But what do we do after we prayed? For an answer, let us take an in-depth look at Romans 12:1 and 2. The first thing Paul tells us to do is to present our bodies to God as a living sacrifice. You see, when you get saved, there is a transformation of your inner man. The new birth is the rebirth of the human spirit. Your spirit is saved. Your spirit is regenerated. Your spirit is reborn, but your body remains the same. It may not seem that way at first. When you first get saved, you look at your hands and they look new. You look at your feet and they do too. But in reality, there is no more inward or outward change of your hands, your feet, or any part of your body. Your body has yet to be redeemed. Apostle Paul said in Romans 8:23 that we who are born again groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. Our bodies get redeemed at a later date. They get redeemed in the resurrection or the rapture. Paul talked about it in 1 Corinthians 15:52 through 53. I'm sure you are looking for that grand and glorious day when our corrupt bodies put on incorruption and when our mortal bodies put on immortality. We are going to get new bodies. Our new bodies will not have all the problems our present bodies have. The main problem with our present bodies is inherent sin. Whenever we want to do good, evil is present with us. Paul says in Romans 7:18, For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. What a profound statement. In my flesh dwells no good thing. No wonder Paul stated in Romans 3:3, have no confidence in the flesh. You can't put your confidence or trust in the flesh because it can't be trusted. It can't be trusted because of its sin nature. So what believers have to do is to discipline their bodies. We have to keep our bodies under and bring them into subjection, as Paul said in 1 Corinthians 9:27. But we really can't do this apart from presenting our bodies to God as a living sacrifice. What does this mean? And how do we do that? Well, the Old Testament saints were required to present to God a dead animal sacrifice. They would kill the animal and put it on the altar. In a similar kind of way, the New Testament saints have put their bodies on the altar. Thank God we do not have to slay our bodies. We don't have to commit suicide. But there is a process of mortification that has to take place. Paul addressed this in Romans 8 and 13 and Colossians 3 and 5. The members and deeds of your body have to be dealt with if you want to know and flow in the perfect will of God. You can't be carnal. You can't be ruled by your fleshly appetites. You can't be governed by your fleshly nature. You have to subdue that nature. You have to mortify it. Then you have to take the next step, which is to yield the members of your body to God. Read Romans 6 and 13 and 19. The key word in these verses is yield. That means to submit or surrender. A part of this surrendering is yielding your body to God. Yield your body with all its carnal appetites. Yield the members of your body as instruments of and servants to righteousness. One of the keys to bringing your body under subjection to your spirit is fasting. Fasting is one of those keys to receiving divine direction. It is not enough to pray. You've got to pray and fast. The older saints taught us that if you pray, you won't stay. If you don't pray, you won't stay. And if you don't fast, you won't last. So both of these things are critical. We see an example of this in 2 Chronicles 21 through 3, where Jehoshaphat didn't know what to do about their enemies who had surrounded them. He called Judah to fast and pray. God heard their prayer and honored their fasting. The Spirit of the Lord came and a prophetic word came forth. Following this prophetic word, Jehoshaphat received divine insight or direction as to what to do. To make a long story short, he did it and their enemies were miraculously defeated. Here are questions to ask yourself. How do you pray when you don't know what to do? Do you specifically pray that you be filled with the knowledge of God's will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding? If not, try it next time and see what happens. Do you agree with the explanation of why we need to present our bodies to God? If need be, review what we've said. Can you personally vouch for the sinfulness of the body or the flesh, as Romans says in 7 verses 17 through 18? What are some practical ways you can mortify the deeds of your body? Have you ever fasted for divine direction? If so, share with us the situation that you fasted and the results therein. Let us know how you have presented your body to God and give us the results of what happened after you presented your body to God, the questions that you submitted to Him, the petitions that you've given to God, and you shared it by presenting your full self to Him and the result that came out of that submission. Let us know in the comments. Let us know what you've done and how that outcome came for you. How did you pray? How did you fast? And what did that look like for you? We want to know. God bless you. And until next time, the next video, you be empowered.